Planet X frightening animation. Today is November 16th, 2014. I saw a Planet X animation today that has me worried. The animation was done by a man in Moldova who posted them as Constantine's animations on his webpage. I have the links for you in the video description, and the YouTube video is an animation linked at the end of this video. Some of you reported seeing Planet X near the Sun, and I argued that it's impossible for Planet X to be near the Sun in your view over a period of time. What if Planet X drags the Earth along with it? Then is it possible? I didn't consider this possibility, and that's what we have apparently. You might agree that it's not possible for two moving objects to be arranged so that one remains locked in position relative to the Sun. This was incorrect, and the animation shows that this is actually what is happening. I urge all of you to see this animation so that you understand why it is possible to see Planet X near the Sun for the duration of its passing by Earth. They're traveling together. Recall that Planet X comes up from the south of the ecliptic plane of the planets. And if you imagine the planets on a disk on a dinner table, then Planet X comes up from the floor and will cross the ecliptic plane and move up and out of the solar system. It comes in from the lower right and moves up and off to the left of your sandwich or beans or whatever you're eating with unemployment at 40% or so. Thank you, government, for ruining our economy and causing inflation. We appreciate it, and I want to thank all you bankers at the Federal Reserve. Things are tough out here, and we appreciate your efforts in causing inflation so that you can stay in power a little longer. We are in the unemployed northern hemisphere on top of the globe, and Planet X passes through our plane coming up from the unemployed southern hemisphere. That's exactly what the animation shows, and it will scare the hell out of you. Another item to discuss here in this video, one of my viewers asked me to look at a post regarding 6 days of darkness on planet Earth in December of 2014, and so I did. In very little time I discovered that the person who posted this hoax said that it was a hoax right in the post. If it appears to be a hoax, and it says that it's a hoax, one might conclude that it is a hoax. And that's what I reported back to the viewer who pointed me in the direction of this post. Then I saw Constantine's animation, and the hoax is not going to be dismissed so easily now. Because if the animator is correct, the pole shift is near, and we're going to have 6 days of darkness on Earth soon. Planet X and its entourage are going to pass between us and the Sun, and there's a lot of debris around Planet X. It's going to get pretty dark on Earth. I don't know if the hoaxer picked the right date, because that's the variable part of this equation. But after you see the animation that I saw, and you clean up the mess in your pants, you will see that the pole shift is very near now, and planet Earth is going to lose a lot of human life and other life too. If they don't escape in their UFOs, the pole shift might even kill some of the aliens who live here among us. But don't worry, it won't kill the alien in the White House, because they have an underground bunker to run to while we get sloshed around by 7 seas and buildings and cars crushing and drowning people. If you have ever been on one of those rides that scares the hell out of you, this is going to be about 1,000 times scarier than that, because this ride lasts for a while and you can't get off the ride. The ride is the entire planet Earth. It's going to be hell. Is there a heaven and a hell? Certainly a hell, and it's coming. This isn't an event in which we can opt out. On the screen you can tell that the blue ball representing Earth is where we live. Your house, my house, and everyone's house is on that planet. I wish they could stop so I can get off. I don't want to go through any pole shift. I'm not ready. The animation is about 6 minutes in length, and what is absolutely horrifying is the ending where planet Earth is jerked up and swung around, hurling us into the orbit of Venus, which is more than 30 million miles closer to the sun. I don't want to be 1/3 closer to the sun. I hear that Venus is hot. What about the trees on Earth? They'll cook. Small animals might go into their dens, but what do large animals do? Do you like the idea of being drawn 30 million miles toward the sun? Earth's normal orbit is just 93 million miles from the sun. And being lured in 1/3 of that distance by Planet X is absolutely horrifying by itself. Then you see the jerking of the Earth's poles in a 90-degree shift, and Earth is hurled out like a ball in a slingshot. What is most frightening is to see the South Pole now as close to the sun as Venus, and it's pointing right at the sun. That snow and ice is 2 miles thick, and if it melts quickly, sea levels will rise 200 feet just from that. And the Zetas say that the Earth's core has heated up. Plates are shifting, volcanoes are going off, and the water in those oceans is going to warm up a bit and expand to give us a frightening 675 feet rise in sea levels. When this happens, and it appears to be very soon, all the water on the Earth and all the plates will be affected. The plates shifting will cause the North American continent to split from about Lake Erie to Houston, Texas, with the left west going down and the liberal east going up. Edgar Cayce predicted that the Great Lakes will empty into the Gulf of Mexico, which will go all the way to Chicago. So let's get lots of toilet paper, stuff it in your pants, and enjoy the ride. That water is going to flood many places, knock down many structures that you know of standing today, but they could be gone in the near future. This animation puts it all together for me. For years I heard the words of Nancy Lieder and read her zetatalk.com website. I did videos about her reports until she started praising this pathological liar in the White House that uses crack cocaine on a daily basis and is married to a man. Both are disbarred attorneys, and I think this foreigner should not be living in our White House, and his certificate of birth is a fake. If Nancy Lieder praises him, then the Zetas haven't informed her of who this guy really is. And that made me wonder about the Zetas and their motives. It didn't add up to me that they would allow her to think of this asshole in the White House as a good man, when I know he's a con man to the core and the sleaziest puppet president we have ever had. So I distanced myself with Nancy Lieder, and because I have not seen any more praise for this loser in the White House, who is signing executive orders like he's king of the USA, now we have the first queen, Michael Obama. Since she has not lavished any more praise on this asshole creep, I will cautiously report to you about Planet X and this very useful animation by Constantine from Moldova, a tiny nation near Albania, Armenia, Georgia, and Macedonia, not too far from Turkey. There's another story I have to tell you related to the animation and Venus. About 5 years ago, I noticed that Venus was getting larger. Venus was always the first star you saw at night, because it's not a star, it's a planet, and it's much closer than the stars. I pointed out to someone that this star has doubled in size, and this is not normal. If you know a lot about Venus or astronomy, you know that Venus is on a retrograde orbit. Most of the planets go in one direction around the sun, and Venus is opposite. That means that when it is waxing or getting bigger, it lasts a very short time and then vanishes on the other side of the sun as planet Earth and Venus increase their distances from each other. It was not logical to me that Venus would get bigger, then instead of getting smaller, it gets even bigger. Then bigger yet. Then bigger than that, year after year. By this time I'm wondering, what's going on with Venus? I'm asking myself, is this Planet X? Then I see the animation, and it's clear why Venus is behaving this way. At the start of the animation, the viewer sees Venus and Earth on their normal orbits, with Venus retrograde to the Earth. Planet X is far enough away to not affect either noticeably. Then something happens on the screen. Venus stops. It reverses its orbit, and both Venus and the Earth are under the influence of Planet X and moving in the same direction. Amazing. Nancy Lieder is doing the narration on the animation, and she is saying that there is nothing sacred about orbits. They change. You see Venus reverse direction, and the Earth is also grabbed by Planet X, and both are moving with this massive object like a hostage with a knife to her throat. I watched the animation video at least 20 times because I didn't understand it on the first viewing. There is a lot of information on the screen, and I'm trying to understand everything. It's not easy. After about 20 minutes, I started to get the idea. Let me explain. On the video, you see months, but they are in the reverse order. I couldn't figure out why. I'm watching it over and over, and those months are in opposite order to the motion on the screen. I'm asking why. Then I realized that these months refer to Planet X, not Earth. Earth moves in one direction. Planet X moves in the direction of the graduating months, January, February, March, and so on, to about August or September, I think. Once I realized this, I'm panicked. What year? What year? It dawns on me that it could be this year. And suddenly I think back to that hoax. With 6 days of darkness in December, that would put the pole shift early in 2015. Are you squirting mustard yet? Get the toilet paper. If you ever saw my Planet X video with the calendar, it shows some darkness days about a month prior to the pole shift. And so I'm thinking, no matter how fast this Planet X is moving, our time is up. And that pole shift is real, and it's going to happen soon. How soon? I still don't know. But one thing I do know is that the path of these planets and those months show clearly that the pole shift isn't years away anymore. It's in our near future. If you have turkey in the freezer, better unthaw it and eat it. Dry it out, and maybe you can eat it when the electricity is out and nobody has anything to eat and they're eating dead people. The government is expecting unrest, you know. After you see Constantine's animation, you'll know why. I always said I will believe in Planet X when I see it in the sky. Nancy Lieder told us a long time ago that Planet X was between Venus and the Sun, and this animation shows just that. I didn't understand how Planet X could remain between the Sun and Venus for this long, but the animation shows very clearly how this could be. I am very concerned about what I saw. Would you please go there now and see what I saw and hear the explanation of the progress of Planet X, and be sure to put a lot of toilet paper in your pants because you're going to squirt like a mustard dispenser when you see the Earth jerked 90 degrees. Thanks for watching. I may not see you next time, but I'll see you in hell. Ha! Here are the links to the YouTube animations. Planet X frightening animation. Today is November 16th, 2014. I saw a Planet X animation today that has me worried. The animation was done by a man in Moldova who posted them as Constantine's animations. This was incorrect, and the animation shows that this is actually what is happening. I urge all of you to see this animation so that you understand why it is possible to see Planet X near the Sun for the duration of its passing by Earth. They're traveling together. Recall that Planet X comes up from the south of the ecliptic plane of the planets. And if you imagine the planets on a disk on a dinner table, then Planet X comes up from the floor and will cross the ecliptic plane and move up and out. What if Planet X drags the Earth along with it? Then is it possible? I didn't consider this possibility, and that's what we have apparently. You might agree that it's not possible for two moving objects to be arranged so that one remains locked in position relative to the Sun. On his webpage, I have the links for you in the video description, and the YouTube video is an animation linked at the end of this video. Some of you reported seeing Planet X near the Sun, and I argued that it's impossible for Planet X to be near the Sun in your view over a period of time.